ECF is 60 years old this year, so it was founded in 1954 by key European thinkers, leading European minds of the time, who said that Europe needed to be much more than an economic construct, an economic partnership. It needed to have culture at its heart. And that's the mission that's driven us for 60 years. So the contribution culture brings to Europe, not us supporting culture that happens to be in Europe. And with that in mind, we look at culture in its broadest sense possible. So this is not looking just at music, theater, and dance. It's definitely looking at culture in all its facets and all its participation. And also looking and considering Europe in the widest sense possible. So it's not that we are focused on the EU, but that we look at the EU, the neighboring countries on a European continent, and then the neighboring countries even on other continents like North Africa. Our work covers grant making, supporting independent cultural projects, travel grants for young artists. It covers also working in programmatic partnerships with other foundations, and we have an advocacy interest, given that we do have a political agenda, which is the contribution of culture to Europe and a belief in Europe. We need to balance the grants work that we do with advocacy work on all levels, municipal, national, and European. ECF's been, well, not only a member of EFC for the last 25 years, we're in fact one of the founders of it, and our Secretary General at that time, Raymond Jurist, I believe it's fair to say it was his brainchild, that this would be something that was really important. If foundations were to contribute to Europe, then foundations needed to work together on projects, but needed also to have a shared voice. And this continues to be what's very important to me from our membership in EFC, that not only I'm offered the opportunity to work with, to exchange knowledge with colleagues across Europe, many who work with culture, but many that don't, because we also want to see the work that we do in a larger context and not just in one single box. So it's the networking, the exchange, the professional development opportunities, allowing ourselves to see things from different perspectives through the eyes of others. And it also is an all-important voice in Brussels. For ECF, the work that we do on a grassroots level, we would like very much to, and we're determined to connect that on a policy-making level, and to connect the voices and give a platform for the voices that we work with in a more institutional, public sector sphere. And that's much better done if you do it in alliance with others and have a loud voice rather than many single voices across Europe and in the cities, in the wildernesses, however you look at it. But a shared voice is really important, and that's, I think, key to membership in European Foundation Centre. We've had involvement on in many arenas with EFC, and I try very much to ensure that a lot of our staff are involved. So people have been involved in the thematic networks, which can bring foundations together around issues of shared interest. We've also been involved in the governance and strategic development of the EFC through participation on the Governing Council, and I, for the last few years, have been on the Management Committee and Vice Chair. Also, another role that's been important to us is the participation in the planning for the AGA and conferences. So we have in past participated in program committees, and we're very happy to be looking forward to be hosting the 2016 AGA and conference in Amsterdam with our colleagues in the Netherlands. I would encourage them really to think out of their box a little bit, and even if they feel they're very locally oriented, that you can share so many things with other locally oriented foundations that you might meet in a European context, in a European conversation, and to take that step. But in doing that, I think you also, as a member, need to help bring people along. So anytime anyone steps into a new situation, you feel somewhat isolated. So I think it's incumbent on us to not only help encourage members to join, but to help work with them while they're here. It's a dynamic, energetic organization that is always open to new ideas, and I think that reflects the nature of the foundations that are members, as well as the really wonderful staff that there is there, and even more so now, I would say that there is a very compelling physical presence for EFC in Brussels in the frame of Philanthropy House, which I think becomes a face for foundations, as well as the EFC has the face and the voice now, which I think is excellent.